Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another video of Ski Town Living. I am Townsend with the group real estate here in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and today I'm going to address the question that I get asked extremely frequently skiing here in Steamboat Springs, and that is, what skis should I use or what should I buy? But worry not, in today's video, I'm gonna go over all of the details that you need to know about a ski along with bindings as well. That are gonna better help you out on the slopes and what will suit you best for your riding ability. And you may be asking, Noah, how are you qualified to talk about any of this? You're not a ski fitter, you're not a boot fitter specialist, this, that. I'm aware, but I've picked up a thing or two with my 22 years of skiing experience, competing for 5 years in freestyle skiing and big mountain competitions, along with currently being a sponsored skier and athlete for several companies. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first thing that I want to address is length of skis and what you should be riding. Let's get into it. First things first, with talking about skis, the biggest one that you're going to want to consider is the height of your skis. Let's dive into that now and what that means for your riding ability. That was so straight, that was beautiful. All right, on the shorter end, we're probably looking at skis that are 160 centimeters versus on the taller end, 190, and right in between, we'll say 175. 160, you're probably gonna be about plus or minus 5 foot. 190, you're probably looking at 6 foot plus. And given the shorter the ski, the more control you're going to have versus the longer the ski, the less control you're going to have and the more experience you'll need to be able to control a ski like that. So with that being said, over here, this is really going to be your beginner to intermediate skier. We'll box these up so we don't lose track as we're going through my beautiful, beautiful diagram that I'm drawing right here. I know you guys love it. Now, 175 to 190 in length of skis, this is really going to be for your advanced to experienced skiers. And myself personally, just for frame of reference, I'm 5'10", 175 pounds. Typically, if I'm gonna be riding an all mountain ski, going on groomed runs or going into the park, the 170 to 175 range, that's really where I'm gonna stay, versus if it's powder or I'm skiing chutes or something like that, double black diamonds, really I'm probably 185 is gonna be my top, as you'll see later in the video. But keeping this in mind, why I say this is because this ski is a lot taller than this ski and is much harder to maneuver. And so typically speaking, you're gonna find that a more advanced or experienced skier is gonna be on a longer ski, no matter the conditions, while when you're starting off or learning, you're gonna be on a shorter ski. A beginner intermediate, this is someone who is going to be doing greens, blues, intermediate, you know, doing the occasional black diamond, something like that. That's gonna be their comfort range, versus the advanced experienced skier is blue, black, double black diamond, anything like that. That is really going to be where they're skiing. Now, enough about height. Let's get into, because I'm sure you guys have all heard, when you're at the ski shop, some ski tech is talking about camber of a ski versus rocker of a ski. So let's dive in and show you what all that means. First up, I'm gonna talk about camber. Camber, we wanna think about if we're looking at the side of a ski, So let's just say these two skis are combined. This right here is camber, and it's going to make a convex shape like this when your skis are put together. And yes, I know my diagrams are just absolutely everything that you guys wanted to see today. Thank you for the love on that. Skis with a lot of camber are gonna be really good for the groomed runs, all mountain, and hard to harder packed snow. Now, getting into rocker, rocker is the opposite. Rocker, if you put the skis together, is going to look something like this. Once again, bear with me on my diagrams here. That right there is rocker. You want skis with a lot of rocker for if you're gonna be skiing bumps, double black diamond, or big mountain, which is chutes, couloirs, stuff like that, or you are park skiing, hitting jumps, stuff along those lines. And you might be asking, what is the true difference? And given the snowpack, what would you prefer? So camber is if it hasn't snowed in a while, I don't have to deal with super deep snow. I want a ski that has more camber on it because there's going to be less snow for the edge to dig into on the slope. Versus rocker, I want a ski that's super rockered on a powder day, or I'm needing to blow through a bunch of snow that might not be super even underfoot. Rocker's really gonna help with being able to keep you floating on top of the snow, versus this is going to keep you very much so pushed into the snow, if that makes sense. Now, I can't talk about the height of skis or camber and rocker without talking about the width of skis. So let me break this down a little bit for you. Once again, we're gonna draw a beautiful diagram for you folks and give you guys a range of widths that you'll typically be choosing from. Starting off, we're gonna start with a width of 80, which is a super skinny ski, all the way up to 120, which is a very fat ski. Somewhere in the middle, we're gonna put 100. So what is the difference? When you're dealing with a ski that's anywhere from 80 to 90, this is really going to be for your groomed runs, versus the 100 is going to be all mountain, meaning that it'll be big enough to cut through some bumps, do groomers, definitely do some jumps, and maybe even a little bit of powder. 120, which is exceptionally wide, this is really going to be for powder and those really deep days. Now, also, just to help, kind of gonna break down this range a little bit for you guys as well. So we'll, right here, put all mountain, groomers, also park skiing, which is rails and jumps. You definitely want a skinnier ski for those types of activities, while 100 to 120, this is really going to be your powder. Can be all mountain, but we're not gonna put it in here just for the sake of the video. This is going to be probably double black diamond runs, doing chutes, couloirs. I'm gonna butcher that spelling, I know it, but anyway, that's really the breakdown of what width you'll be working with when you're out there skiing, and what I would choose to go ski with based on the conditions given any day and the weather that we're having. With covering the basics from height of the ski, width of the ski, along with rocker and camber. I want to show you guys some examples of what that actually looks like on skis. Before starting out, I'm going to break out Old Faithful, which are my go-to pair of skis for pretty much any terrain that I'm skiing any given day that isn't a super deep powder day, which are my Mata ARVs, which are 170 in length and 96 underfoot. So this is a thinner ski. It doesn't have that much camber, but definitely has some. It has a little bit of rocker, and that's what really makes it a daily weapon out there, because it can really do a little bit of everything, and especially based off where my bindings are mounted. So let's get into it. So I'm sure you guys can see in the video, there's a little bit of space right here. This right here is the camber that I was talking to you guys about, versus up here, you can see where the skis leave contact with each other, and that's rocker. And I have rocker in my tips along with my tails as well. And these skis are, sorry, not skis, my bindings are mounted a little bit further back than what a factory mounting would be, because I like them to be a pretty versatile ski when I'm out there. So these will be able to do all mountain, groomers, park skiing, powder skiing, probably up to 6 inches deep of snow. And so that's why I've chosen to mount the binding a little bit further back than what factory recommended is, so that I can take my center of gravity, move it back a little bit on the ski, and be able to break through some of the debris a little bit better when I am skiing. Now, let's get into my go-to powder skis and all mountain skis when I'm skiing stuff that's a lot steeper, deeper of snow, and a little bit softer snow, let's just say. These are really good for hard packed stuff. These, not so much. So these skis are my go-to powder skis along with all mountain. If it dumps a foot or more of snow overnight and I'm gonna go skiing the next day, this is immediately what I'm gonna grab first. I had mentioned in the video before that I'm 5'10", and you'll probably notice that these skis are quite a bit taller than the ones that I last had in my hand, and these are 185s. And they are a little bit harder to control, but when you're in super deep conditions, you really don't feel it at all because of how much rocker these skis have. Let me show you now what I'm talking about. You can see that the skis start coming apart from one another right here because of the immense amount of rocker that these skis have. So these skis are designed to keep me afloat of super deep snow, rather than if I'm gonna be skiing on groomers, I can definitely go with skis that don't have this much rocker and don't have as big of a tip. And they do have a little bit of camber, but nothing too crazy. You can kind of see the little bit there, but these are definitely meant to be used in deep conditions. I won't take too much time out of this video to talk about poles, but since poles are such a big thing with skiing, I do want to address and give you guys some of my rule of thumbs, let's just say, for how to pick out a ski pole. Granted, you guys need to be aware that the majority of my ski poles are super bent. I go through about 4 pairs every single season, and these 2 are the only 2 that made it last season. These ones got sent to me from Volcrum. Thank you guys, these are awesome. I use these once. But without further ado, I want to give you guys the biggest rule of thumb that I have for sizing up your poles. Before you go into a ski shop, I want to make sure you guys look like you know a little bit before going in and just buy whatever you see first on the shelf. So, good rule of thumb with a ski pole: turn it upside down and plant it on the ground. When you plant a ski pole on the ground, this right here is the basket. And ideally, you want to have your arm in a 90-degree angle and have your hand right on the basket. And if that is 90 degrees, you found the perfect fit for your pole. So these, even with being so horribly bent, these still work, and this is a perfect height for me. Now, if you are a park skier or you're skiing a lot of groomers, you can definitely get away with shorter poles. Like these ones definitely are a little bit shorter, but that's what I like when I'm spinning and doing flips. Makes it easier to control and you don't have a huge pole that is always in your way. Now, if you are skiing in backcountry territory, you're in the powder, it's definitely gonna help if you have a pole that's a little bit taller than what you think you need. These, for instance, are, you're about to see, like, these are definitely a little bit too big for me, but you've probably already noticed that these poles have grips starting from all the way down here to all the way up here. And why that is because when you are going through super deep powder, this is going to dig in and then it's going to go to about normal height when you're pushing off. So you don't really feel the size, and these extra ribs, handles, whatever, I don't want to say ribs because that sounds weird, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The grips are all the way down here so that when you are hiking and say you're going out in the backcountry and you're sidestepping, I'm not having my arm all the way up here to be able to pole plant into the next step. Instead, I'm able to lower my hand down and then be able to move up the slope sideways as need be. So that's really all I have for poles. So appreciate you guys appreciate you guys watching this far into the video. Hopefully this video will be able to help you guys be able to better diagnose what you should be riding out on the slopes whenever you go to a ski mountain, because I understand there's so many options out there in today's marketplace that it's very easy to get overwhelmed when you walk into a ski shop. So many pretty colors along with varieties of skis that it's hard to make a decision. So hopefully this definitely helps you with that. And if you guys did get any value out of this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. If you guys are ever in Steamboat and you want to catch up, grab a drink, go ski, go mountain bike if it's in the summer, feel free to give me a call. And also, if you guys ever need help with any real estate here in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, or Routt County for that matter, feel free to give me a call. All my information is in the description for every single video that I post. And for all you skiers and riders, I hope to see you out on the slopes. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next one. Later.